Hi, this is Knitting Brow. I gave you an update yesterday on the knitting bag that I had purchased recently that I shared with you the insides of my knitting bag. Well, I also wanted to now share with you what I actually have in that knitting bag. That knitting bag is actually going to live in my car. So it's going to be my travel knitting. And with that, I needed something that was going to be enjoyable to knit, something that I would be able to pick up easily, just in case I didn't have any other knitting with me. Because I don't know about you, but I find lots of times to knit just simply when I'm waiting. And I always want to have something in my car. So what I'm working on is I am working with the slip stitch cable socks, which of course is from the little box of socks. I am finding that pattern that resource a really great supplier of knitting patterns for socks. Now I mentioned this earlier that I recently purchased from one of the big yarn places online some knitting needles, and I felt like I just wanted to cast on 5 different pairs of socks so that I could have all sorts of socks going, because I do have a lot of sock yarn. So I am using a size 3mm sock with the Twisted Sisters. Can you see that? Twisted Sisters Jazz in hand paint. This is a 100% fine wool. It calls for a US size 5 to 8, but I do like to knit my socks on a smaller needle so that I can actually get a really nice fabric that's firm. There's an interesting thing about this yarn. I eyed this at my local yarn shop for almost a year. No, it had to be more than that. More than a year, because of the colors. I find these colors are just beautiful, and I'm hoping this light will do them justice. It is a teal and a gold or a yellow, and it's just a great color. And in the hank, it was truly amazing. It just captured my attention. They had it in a fingering weight and then in this weight, so I opted to purchase it in this weight. Here's the progress that I have on this sock. And actually, I have 2 socks going at once, just on 2 sets of needles. And what I'm doing is once I finish 2 rounds, or 2 repeats on one sock, I move to the other so that I can make sure that I have the appropriate number of repeats. And I'm hoping that you can see, this is just a great, it's a great pattern with the slip cable. It's just quite nice. Now this is going to be pretty firm. I'm not going to probably get it up very high on my leg, but that's okay. I am enjoying knitting with this. It's pretty easy for me to remember the pattern, so I don't have to fuss about that. I even like the way that the sock is looking overall. And when I stretch it out, it does show the slip stitches a little bit better. So, now, one of the things that I had in my knitting bag yesterday was a bread tag, bread tie thing. And what I do is I take the end of my cast on and I wrap it around this just so that it stays there and stays out of the way. I don't know about you, but I'm one of these people that as I'm knitting in the round, I sometimes will pick up the tail and knit with it, especially if I have a long tail at the end. And so this is actually something that helps me with that. So, oh, and one of the other things that I'm doing is so that I know, because I'm putting both of these socks into my knitting bag, I need to know which one I'm working on. So I actually have just a stitch marker on there to help with it. It's actually a coilless pin. So, well, this is something that I have been doing and I really enjoy. So I wanted to share this with you and let you know what I was working on, because sooner or later I'm actually going to have 5 pairs of socks on the needles. I can pretty much guarantee that. So If you have a suggestion for a sock pattern that you really like, that's not just going to be in a fingering weight yarn, maybe a sport, DK, even light worsted weight, I'd love to hear it. Please leave a comment in the blog. I would enjoy knowing that, because I'm going to start doing the sock club for myself, my self-imposed sock club. So, well, enjoy your colorful loops of daily living. Bye.